Hey guys, it's Brian. Welcome to the awards contender. So we have some new nominations hot off the presses. PGA nominations, BAFTA Longlists. Yesterday we got DGA nominations. Let's dive into all of it. I wanted to chime in with my reactions. We have some interesting developments happening right now in award season, and what is this all going to mean for Oscar nominations morning on January 22nd? So let's begin with PGA nominations, which just came out a couple hours ago. We have Bugonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Train Dreams, and Weapons. Weapons made it in at PGA. That thrilled me. I did not expect that at all. Part of me thought F1 had a chance. Kind of this year's Top Gun Maverick, maybe that could get in over a Wicked for Good, over an Avatar Fire and Ash, and it happens. Wicked for Good is not here at PGA, and it's not looking good for that movie right now. I'm very, very nervous about Wicked for Good at the Oscars at this point. Can it make Best Picture? I still think it's possible, but I wouldn't predict it right now. I am very nervous for Ariana Grande in Supporting Actress. Could Grande miss the Oscar nomination? That movie is fading, and maybe she's the Danielle Brooks of this season. No matter what happens with Wicked for Good, Ariana Grande still makes it in at the Oscars at the end of the day. I'm very hopeful of that. I don't want her to miss. But Wicked for Good not making it a PGA, it's going to be tricky for that movie moving forward. Besides F1 and Weapons, we don't really have another big surprise. Bugonia, I thought that would make it at PGA. Train Dreams, you could argue, was kind of on the bubble, but that felt like a PGA nomination. It's such a lovely film. I was like, they're probably going to put that in here. And then everything else is very much expected. If One Battle or Hamnet or Sinners or something had missed, we'd be like, what? Those were always getting in. So is this going to be our final lineup in Best Picture at the Oscars? No. I would say 100% no. If I had to make an educated guess right now, I think for that Oscar lineup in picture, we take out F1 and Weapons and we put in 2 international films. It Was Just an Accident and The Secret Agents. I think that's the top 10. I guess you could argue they're going to put something big in there, like a big movie like F1 or Wicked for Good or Avatar, maybe. But I just think Avatar or Wicked for Good needed to get into PGA here for me to think it had a shot in picture. Oh my God, if Weapons gets into Best Picture at the Oscars, I am going to freak out. That would be huge for Amy Madigan. As I've been talking about for many weeks, my concern with her winning the Oscar is if her movie is not in picture or screenplay, it's in no other top category. That's where I get nervous for Madigan actually winning at the end of the day. If Weapons somehow slipped into picture, I'd be like, it's over. Madigan is winning Best Supporting Actress at the Oscars. I'm still not convinced Weapons makes it into that top category. That would very much surprise me. But how cool is it to see it here among these other 9 films at the PGA nominations? All right, next up are the DGA nominations, which came out yesterday. No big surprise here, I would say. You have Paul Thomas Anderson, One Battle After Another, Ryan Coogler, Sinners, Guillermo del Toro, Frankenstein, Josh Safdie, Marty Supreme, and Chloe Zhao, Hamnet. That makes sense to me. You could say, what about Joachim Trier, Sentimental Value? He's always been kind of on the bubble for me in director. I don't know, at the Oscars, can Trier make it in? I would love to see it. I will be so happy. I think he deserves that nomination. And then you also have Jafar Panahi missing at DGA. I don't know year to year how well international directors do at DGA. I feel like they miss most of the time, right? They'll miss a DGA, but then slip in there on Oscar nominations morning. So I don't know how you guys are feeling. I think Jafar Panahi is safe for the Oscar nomination. I really do think he's going to make it on January 22nd. So then it's okay, if Panahi is there in a few days, who do we take out at DGA? Anderson is safe. Coogler is safe. I think Zhao is safe, right? Could Chloe Zhao miss at the Oscars? That would very much upset me. Don't Let Me Down, Academy. And then Josh Safdie, Marty Supreme. Like, he did such a spectacular job directing that movie. I think he should be there too. So sorry, Del Toro. I love you. I love you. I have for many decades. But I think he misses at the Oscars for Frankenstein and is replaced by Jafar Panahi. It was just an accident. You also have the Joachim Trier sentimental value factor. Could he also slip in? Could DGA go only 3 for 5 when it comes to the Oscars? Maybe. But it's a really stacked lineup here. I could see Del Toro making it at the Oscars. If that happens, like, who else would miss? I guess Chloe Zhao Hamnet. But Hamnet is very, very strong. It's getting in everywhere it needs to, right? So I just don't think that happens. Marty Supreme continues to grow in strength week after week. It did very well at SAG, and I think Marty Supreme is also probably safe in director at the Oscars. So I do think it's Del Toro who misses, but Frankenstein is very popular. That's been doing really well all season. So it is a nail biter. I really don't think these 5 at DGA are the 5 at the Oscars. It's possible, but I do think there's going to be one difference. And the question is, which one is going to miss? Who is going to make it? I think Del Toro is going to miss the director nomination at the Oscars ultimately, and we're going to get Jafar Panahi. It was just an accident. All right, now the BAFTA Longlists, which just came out a few hours ago. Remember, we're not getting BAFTA nominations before the Oscar nominations. This year, Oscar nominations are on Thursday, January 22nd. BAFTA nominations are not until Tuesday, January 27th. So it's like another 5 days before we get BAFTA. Usually, we get those final BAFTA nominations. We look to that as we try to figure out in those final few days who is getting in at the Oscars. We don't have that luxury this year, but we do at least have BAFTA Longlists. We can see like who was omitted, who has a very slim chance now of getting the Oscar nomination. Let's start with Best Film. One Battle After Another had a very good morning on the BAFTA Longlists. I read it broke the record of 15. It got to 16 nominations, 16 mentions on the long list, so that's awesome. And then the other standout here, I think, is Nuremberg. I watched that screener a few weeks ago, and it wasn't my favorite movie of the year, but I was like, man, there's a lot of really interesting aspects to the story and to the production design, to the performances. Russell Crowe is really good in it. That honestly, I have been surprised. It's just blanked everywhere, like Critics' Choice and the Globes and SAG, like nothing. So it finally gets some mentions at BAFTA, so that's something. I still don't think Nuremberg is going to do well at the Oscars. Maybe a lone technical nomination or something, but it might just be a BAFTA and nothing else. Hamnet's here, that makes me very happy. Bugonia is in Best Film. I think some of us for a few weeks were like, I don't know, Bugonia, it's kind of on the bubble. Will that make it into Best Picture at the Oscars? I think hell yes, it's getting into picture. And that's huge for that movie. Sinners did well on the BAFTA long list, as we'll look at, and Sentimental Value did pretty well too, which made my heart happy. Sentimental Value did terrible on SAG nominations morning. It got 0 there. It did well at BAFTA, as well as it really needed to anyway. There was one big omission, as I'll talk about. But yeah, Best Film at the BAFTA long list, looking pretty good. Best Director, no huge omissions there. We have Paul Thomas Anderson, Ryan Coogler, Joachim Trier, Josh Safdie, Chloe Zhao. Again, no Jafar Panahi, but I wouldn't panic about that. I still think Panahi makes it in at the Oscars. I will be surprised at this point if he misses there. We have some lovely nominations. Lynn Ramsey makes it in for Die My Love. That is inspired. We have Hikari here for Rental Family, which is a film that I enjoyed at TIFF a few months ago, but really hasn't played much of a role this award season. It's nice to see her here. Catherine Bigelow is nominated. You have the director of The Voice of Hin Rajab. That's really cool. And you have Yorgos Lanthimos for Bugonia. Like, Lanthimos is here in the long list for director. Guillermo del Toro is missing for Frankenstein. That's kind of surprising, I guess you could say. Maybe that's the biggest omission here. Del Toro has been doing really well so far this season in director, but he's not here at BAFTA, not even in the long list. Maybe you could point to his omission here at the BAFTA long list for director as a sign of things to come on Oscar nominations morning, maybe. But yeah, a really great lineup for this category. Leading actress. Leading actress. The Kate Hudson train continues chugging, and Amanda Seyfried is not here in the BAFTA long list. What happened with The Testament of Anne Lee? Searchlight really dropped the ball on that thing. They brought it out in very limited release at the end of December, and that was not the right call because Seyfried missed its SAG, and now she's not even on the BAFTA long list, and that makes me very sad. It makes me upset. It's not my favorite movie of the year, but she is bringing it in that thing. She's so great. It's such a demanding physical, emotional performance. Amanda Seyfried should at minimum be on the BAFTA long list for leading actress. That's not right to me. That really doesn't sit well. You have Kate Hudson here instead, and she's good in that movie. But is she going to get the Oscar nomination? Over Amanda Seyfried, over Jennifer Lawrence, over Tessa Thompson, over Renata Reinsve or something? I mean, I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to be like, what? I love Kate Hudson. But this is getting a little bit out of hand. I don't know about you guys. I'm just like, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Pretty much everyone else here is expected. You have Jessie Buckley, Rose Byrne, Chase Infinity. Jennifer Lawrence is here. That makes me very happy. Tessa Thompson made it, which is awesome. Emma Stone is here. Renata Reinsve is here. Thank God. Cynthia Erivo made it in. That's also great. She might not make it in the final 5, or is it 6 at BAFTA? Is it 5 or 6? I can't remember. She might not make it in for the final BAFTA nominations. I'm happy she at least has this mention here. And then you have Andrea Riseborough, Dragonfly. Has anyone heard of the movie Dragonfly? Andrea Riseborough, man. She's always creeping in the dark corners of the room, just popping her head out when you're least expecting it. And she's like, remember me? I'm back with a surprise nomination. So, I mean, maybe she could show up on the official BAFTA nominations on January 27th. But I don't know what Dragonfly is. I would not expect that. So we'll see what happens in this category. Does Kate Hudson make it in at BAFTA? Does she get in at the Oscars? It's looking more and more possible. I still think at the end of the day on Oscar nominations morning, that 5th and final slot is going to Renata Reinsve, not Kate Hudson. That's what I'm thinking. You guys let me know. What do you think is going to happen in Best Actress on Oscar nominations morning? It's less than 2 weeks away. I am nervous. I don't know about you. I'm kind of nervous. I feel like something could happen there where I'm like, what? Really? Amanda Seyfried, it's over. I just can't see Amanda Seyfried showing up on Oscar nominations morning now. I felt pretty strongly about her after seeing The Testament of Anne Lee in September. I was like, oh yeah, if a really good distributor gets that film, they put it out in December, it's probably going to happen for her. But she is just not showing up in these lists, and it's too bad because Amanda Seyfried deserves to be here. Leading actor in the BAFTA long lists, of course, we have a couple surprises here, names you haven't really seen so far this season, like Russell Crowe, Nuremberg. I think he has a considerable shot, actually, to get the BAFTA nomination. Usually, we have a big star year to year who doesn't get in a Critics' Choice, or Golden Globes, or SAG, or the Oscars, but they get a BAFTA nomination. That could be Crowe this year for Nuremberg. You have the main slate of typical nominees. You have Timothée Chalamet, you have DiCaprio, you have Hawke, you have Jordan, you have Jesse Plemons Bugonia, who got the surprise SAG nomination this week. People have been saying, is Jesse Plemons going to get the Oscar nomination for Best Actor? It's possible now. He's coming on stronger than many of us thought he would. The question is, does he get the BAFTA nomination? Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. He's just here in a field of 10. They have to whittle that down. So I'm happy he's there. That's my favorite Jesse Plemons performance. That's really cool. The big omission here, of course, is Wagner Moura, the secret agent. Many of you who want to see him get in at the Oscars might be freaking out at this point. You're like, oh my God, he didn't make it in at SAG. He's not even on the long list at BAFTA. But here's what I have to tell you, okay? This is what I have to say to you. Fernanda Torres, she missed at Critics' Choice. She missed at SAG. She missed in the BAFTA long lists. She only got in at the Golden Globes, and then she won that. She won Best Actress in a Motion Picture Drama for I'm Still Here, and then she got the Oscar nomination. I feel pretty certain that Wagner Moura is winning the Golden Globe on Sunday night for Best Actor in a Motion Picture Drama. And even though he's not here on the BAFTA long list, even though he didn't get in at SAG, I think Moura is coming for the Oscar nomination. He might take the slot that otherwise would have gone to Jesse Plemons' Bugonia, because the other 4 slots just feel kind of sewn up, right? Chalamet, DiCaprio, Hawke, and Jordan. I don't really see one of those 4 missing on Oscar nominations morning. It's that final slot, which has some suspense. It could go to Plemons. It could be the SAG 5, but I think it's going to be Wagner Moura, The Secret Agents. Supporting actress, we have some wonderful picks here. You have Odessa A. Zion and Gwyneth Paltrow, Marty Supreme. Paltrow finally gets a mention. They obviously love Marty Supreme. You also have Ariana Grande here, Wicked for Good, well-deserved. Amy Madigan is here. Wunmi Mosaku's here for Sinners. You have Teyana Taylor, One Battle After Another. I was like quietly hoping for a mention for Regina Hall. I'm like, Regina Hall, I know she's not in very much of One Battle, but she's so lovely in that. She's got some really nice moments. I was hoping like maybe BAFTA puts her on the long list. It didn't happen. That's too bad. You also have Emily Watson here for Hamnets. Have we seen her pop up much this season? I don't think so. Kind of like Regina Hall, she's barely in Hamnet. She doesn't have a whole lot to do, but it's a really nice performance. I'm happy that got a mention here. I am thrilled that Inga Ibsdottir Lilius is here for Sentimental Value after her omission at SAG, but Elle Fanning did not make the BAFTA long list. And so it's looking like RIP for Elle Fanning, which does upset me in a way, because it's like, Jesus Christ, what does she have to do? You know, she won a big prize early in the season for supporting actress a year ago for A Complete Unknown. Monica Barbaro comes on strong at SAG. She gets the Oscar nomination, not Elle Fanning. And then a year later, it looks pretty well certain if someone from that movie gets into supporting actress at the Oscars, it's going to be Lilius. Elle Fanning needed to be here in the BAFTA long list. She's not here. So I just think because Elle Fanning missed at SAG, she's not here at BAFTA. You know, she got nominated at Critics' Choice and the Globes. She's not going to win at the Globes. I think this might be the end of the road for Elle Fanning again. What does she need to do to get an Oscar nomination? She gives such a great performance in Sentimental Value. It just hurts her, I think, because Lilius is the favorite in this category from that same movie. And supporting actress is very competitive. There are a ton of contenders. So to get both Lilius and Fanning in on Oscar nominations morning would be very tricky. I get that. But it's just like, it's frustrating, right? Like Elle Fanning keeps putting in really good work. She never gets the Oscar nomination, so that's a bummer. But outside of the Fanning omission, this is a great lineup in supporting actress. Some wonderful nominees here. Some people we haven't even seen yet until this moment, so that's great. I'm so happy. Like Paltrow probably doesn't get in at the Oscars, but at least she's here on the BAFTA long list. That's something. And then everyone else we expected to get in here. Everyone we're expecting to get the Oscar nomination for supporting actress made it in. There wasn't some crazy omission here like Amy Madigan Weapons or something. She's here. So I do think she is safe for that final official BAFTA nomination along with Ariana Grande, Teyana Taylor, Odessa A. Zion. You know, like Best Supporting Actress is a wild, chaotic category this year, and I can't wait to see what happens on Oscar nominations morning. And Best Supporting Actor, no big surprises here. The really cool inclusion, I would say, is Andrew Scott, Blue Moon. I really loved his performance in that. It's not just the Ethan Hawke show for an hour and 40 minutes. Andrew Scott is also wonderful in that. So I'm happy he made it in here in supporting actor. You have both guys from One Battle After Another, Del Toro and Penn. You have a Lordy for Frankenstein. Paul Mescal made it for Hamnet. Stellan Skarsgård is here for sentimental value, as he should be. I still think he wins at the Globes for supporting actor, and he might well win the BAFTA award. If Stellan Skarsgård wins at the Globes and at BAFTA, I will be predicting him to win the Oscar. And I think there's a very good chance of that happening. We shall see. And the other very lovely inclusion, finally, after many weeks and him getting snubbed at the Critics' Choice Awards, at the Golden Globe Awards, at the SAG Awards, Delroy Lindo is here for Sinners. Finally. I feel like Delroy Lindo has a shot at the final official BAFTA nomination on January 27th. I would love to see it. I don't think the people who get in at BAFTA are going to be the exact same who get in at the Oscars. That would be kind of boring to me. I like a little bit of chaos there would be nice. Delroy Lindo deserves one big nomination this season for Sinners. If it's not at the Oscars, it should be at BAFTA. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to go into every single BAFTA longlist category. I just wanted to chime in today about PGA, DGA nominations, and the BAFTA longlists. You know, Oscar nominations morning, it's less than 2 weeks away. I am so excited. I feel like we're going to have some surprises that morning, but I'm still not sure, like, which categories will it be in? You know, the acting categories are not sewn up yet. And so I'm really thrilled to see what happens. So let me know in the comments below, what do you think at this moment about PGA and DGA nominations and the BAFTA long lists? And I'll see you next time at the Awards Contender.